Here I am. My name is Neni Carolina Chacin again. This is Songversation live from home. I'm in Boston and I'm bringing to you Songversations from Tuesday until Saturday, every single day, where I sing and I coach and I show you some of the strategies and tools to optimize your life and automate your business. And so thank you so much for tuning in. We are live on Instagram, live on Facebook, live on Periscope, Twitch, and YouTube. So thank you so much. And today we have, like I promised you yesterday, I started the whole week. I told you that I would share some sensitive stuff. This is like very raw conversation where I'm going to talk about some of the experiences that I've had and some of the in Venezuela with rioting, with fighting, with rising up into for injustice, and also all the different tools and strategies that I've put in and implemented in my life to be prepared for what's coming, what could come, what could not come, hopefully not, but to be prepared. And this week, the whole week, we have our amazing sponsor is Mario Labarca. Mario Labarca is a Venezuelan artist, a painter, a poet, a musician, that he is the author of these paintings that I've been showing through all my conversations, and I will give you a tour later this week. But this artist, you can follow him as Mario. Let me post it here on Instagram. Mario Arte y Vida. Yes, Mario Arte y Vida. And I'm going to pin this. Yes, let me make sure. Mario. Oh, I think I typed it wrong. Hold on. Let me just type it here because I can't do everything at the same time. Mario Arte y Vida. Correct. There you go. And there you go. So that's our sponsor for today. For the whole week, we have this Venezuelan artist where I shared. So as I told you yesterday, I had a conversation with him last week, and he told me about all the different struggles that they're going on in Venezuela. My whole family is also there. I have a very large family. And the majority of my family, some of my direct family, my parents, a brother, my nieces are also there. And I have another brother in the United States. But I have a lot of uncles and aunts and cousins, direct family. My mom and my dad are there. So I wanted to share a little bit of that. And before that, I wanted to sing this special song. This song is a protest song written by Silvio Rodriguez. It's going to be in Spanish, and I'm going to share some things, and I'm going to translate the words after so you can see. Ojalá que las hojas no te toquen el cuerpo cuando caigan, para que no las puedas convertir en cristal. Ojalá que la lluvia deje de ser milagro que baja por tu cuerpo. Ojalá que la luna pueda salir sin ti. Ojalá que la tierra no te bese los pasos. Ojalá se te acabe la mirada constante, la palabra precisa, la sonrisa perfecta. Ojalá pase algo que te borre de pronto. Una luz cegadora, un disparo de nieve, ojalá por lo menos que te lleve la muerte, para no verte tanto, para no verte siempre, en todos los segundos, en todas las visiones, ojalá que no pueda tocarte ni en canciones, ojalá que pase algo que te borre de pronto, una luz cegadora, un disparo de nieve, ojalá por lo menos que te lleve la muerte, para no verte tanto, para no verte siempre, en todos los segundos, en todas las visiones, ojalá que no pueda tocarte ni en canciones. So this song is about seeing a lover, that something that you really love, and that you want something to erase that, all the beautiful things that this old love is in your life, so that you don't have to remember it again, so that you don't suffer from not having it. And the reason I was gonna sing you a little bit of that song was because a lot of things that we're seeing now is because we are also longing for justice. We're longing for love, equality, and we're longing for unity and connection. And sometimes we are upset and we are angry that we don't have those things, and we almost want things to be erased, like just take it away so that I don't see it, so that I don't hear it. We want to ignore a lot of the things. And as you can see, a lot of the things happening in the world is we're saying, I don't want to ignore this anymore. I want to take action. And that's why this conversation today is about what does it mean to take action. When we take action, there are many ways to take action, right? And I'm going to tell you a story. I'm very proud of being an American right now. I'm very proud that I can live in this country, even with all the differences, with all the injustices. I'm very proud to be an American because in perspective and in comparison to where I come from, there are chances for change. When people see some corruption, people see some injustice, they rise up and they get change done. Maybe it's very slow. Maybe it may seem slow for many of you. But for me, coming from where I come from, is actually creating change. Is that you can see the change little by little. Women can vote now because of protest. There is equality. There is some sort of acceptance in the African American community and the white community. And now blacks can go into places, because when there were slaves before, and then now they're not slaves. They were not allowed to enter certain places, and now they are allowed. I'm not saying that we have to stay there and we should have absolutely all the equality. But I can see change. I can see change. There are a lot of things that remain the same, but also love and hope remains the same. And there are little things that are changing little by little, like little laws. And remember, I think it was Obama that said that progress doesn't look like this. That progress looks like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. Like when you climb a mountain, it's not all the time up and up, right? Sometimes it's up and down, and you climb and you climb and you descend and you come back, right? So it's very important to know that, for me, to show you that coming from where I come from, and I'm very proud of being here in the United States, because there is some progress done little by little. Even if you don't feel it right now, maybe in 10 years you will look back and see all the different regulations and rules and new laws that are going to be put together because of this rioting. In the 60s, something happened. In the 70s, something happened. So right now, in 2020, something is happening. And maybe they'll put so many rules and so many laws that will protect us from many things and create a little bit more equality. So I want to tell you a story about something that happened to me when I was maybe in my early 20s, 21, 22. When I was studying in college, there was a protest. The young generations are always more aware, are always unafraid to protest and scream and say, yes, this should be this way. It's always the young people. And that's why you see a lot of young people in their 20s and teens in the protest right now, angry and fighting because they're unafraid. They have hope. When we were young, at 20-something, there was a confrontation between the police and the universities, because we were protesting against inequality of salaries and different things that were happening in town. And then one of the police shot a student girl. She was in her 20s, but she was pregnant. And one of the rubber bullets came into her belly and killed her baby. So in the computer science department, we were in the science faculty. We decided, they actually closed the faculty, and the university, it's a place where the police and the army is not allowed to go inside. It's not considered, even though it's a public institution, it was a protected place. And it was the police and the army and the military were not allowed to go inside to arrest anybody. It's like a private, it was a sanctuary. So we, as students in our 20s, we decided to gather inside and paint banners to say no more killing, no more armed forces inside the university. So we were all gathered there, and we were all instructed to cover our faces so that they wouldn't know who was protesting and who were the students who were rising up and taking action to protest against the violence inside the university that was not allowed. You know, these people, the police and the military were had this attack, and we were like, no, we're going to protest. This is not allowed, peacefully. So we were told to wear handkerchiefs in our face. I wasn't wearing, actually, but we were drawing and painting these things of the girl with the baby and the blood and whatever we were drawing, right? And so we came out from the inside of the building to protest inside of the university in the parking lot, just to hold the banners out in protest of this violence against one of our colleagues, our student friends that had her baby killed. And as soon as we went up, there were helicopters from the army, from the military, not from the police, helicopters throwing tear gas to us. We were peacefully just putting banners up. We were not going to do any damage, anything, nothing. In fact, the faculty was surrounded by pretty much a large space and fields. There were no establishments around the faculty. And they started throwing tear gas over us. I experienced the tear gas all over me. I couldn't even see. My whole face was burning. I couldn't really see. All we did was scattered. I grabbed the keys of my little car that I had then. And it was very hard I was so nervous. I was shaking, and I couldn't even open the door because at that time we didn't have electronic key locks for the car. So I was using the key to try to open the lock of my car and get in and get as many students as I could inside the car and flee the university to a safer place and wash our faces, which was like everything was burning. I could barely even drive. I couldn't even see. So everybody that could fit in my car, they fit in my car, and we drove out of the place as fast as we could because we knew that the army and the government was going to start shooting at us rubber bullets. And we were just innocent students just wanting to protest peacefully against this injustice for this girl. Nothing to do with racism, nothing to do with anything, just the extreme forces against innocent people. What could a pregnant woman be doing that could be dangerous for anybody, right? So I fled the space. I got home to where I was living, and I put the treatment, which is vinegar or tomatoes, usually something acid, and we cleaned our faces from the tear gas, and we know everything how to protect ourselves from that, because you can't put water because it aggravates it. You have to put vinegar or put tomato in your face, and that will calm down. You can't touch your eyes. You can't touch anything. It's really, really dangerous, and it's really it's very uncomfortable to feel the tear gas in your body and your face. Never mind drive through traffic with the whole sensation in your face. It was really, really dangerous. I learned that day that it didn't matter what we did in a peaceful way. that the government will have always the right, they will always have the power and the money and everything to do whatever they wanted. And so we had nothing. We as students, young, 21, 20, 22, 20 something, we had no power against this thing. That whatever they did, we were powerless. We had nor the financial power, the political power, the physical power. And mind you, we were mostly women in that group. Actually, in my computer science department class, we were mostly women as well. The majority were women. More than 50% were women engineers. And we were all strong and strong-minded. And I've always been a very strong-minded and very rebellious against something that is unjust. So I was participating in that, but I learned that there's no point for me to participate in places where I could put myself in danger if I had no real power to change something. Because I would put myself in harm's way. I put anybody around me in harm's way. And all I had to do is educate myself, do things the right way, and have a more educated way to do a diplomatic change through education. How can I do something and fix something without being involved in the violence, in the protest? Because I'm going to put myself in harm's way because I know what the government's going to do. I know what the police is going to do. I know what the military is going to do. So I know better not to be involved directly in protest. Sure, I can go. I love to. I love to. But I know that I could put myself in danger, and then anything that I can do, I can maybe work and generate money that will finance some bigger group that can be organized and then implement some other law or other regulation. That is more powerful than actively participate in things that that's going to be violence, that you're going to put yourself in harm's way. So I learned my lesson then. That was in Venezuela. So when I came to United States, I wanted to go to a place like United States where I knew that there are some people that could organize themselves better and it could make a change. I remember when I met Teddy Kennedy here. As a gospel singer, we actually had a close relationship. The gospel community participated in a lot of events, singing for some of Teddy Kennedy's events and rallies and things. When I learned about all the things that he was doing to raise the minimum salary, for example, he wasn't protesting in the street, right? He was actually doing public service as a senator and as an active politician to do what's right, to defend and raise the prices. And then he raised the minimum salary of the people in Massachusetts, for example. And those kind of things I support. And when I was part of this state, this life and this country where I could see little changes, maybe it wasn't that much, but it is a lot for certain people. To go from $6 to $8, from $4 an hour to $6. There were some changes that he was able to do because he was educated. He was able to infiltrate how the network works. You have to work how the thing works. It's not that you're going to be involved in corruption or anything. It's just you have to play the game to do it right. You can't just physically just push like a bull. Because sometimes it needs to be a strategic thought. So I also participated, just another example. I am pro-democracy, for sure. I am definitely pro-democracy. So I wanted to defend the votes. So I worked in the voting tables in Venezuela because as a young 20-something-year-old, I just wanted to make a difference. I wanted to participate in the community and do some service. I can't tell you how many times I did a lot of service there. Another story, I believe I was 22 or 21, maybe 22. I can't remember if it was 22, 21, maybe 21. before 22. But I participated to defend the voting tables. So we were instructed of different ways in which other different parties would try to cancel the votes of the other parties. So we were trained on, okay, so if they do this, you have to defend, make sure that they don't do this, they don't do that. So I was watching. So we were trained. I was just a little, I was very skinny then, and a 5'3", little skinny girl, 21, innocent face. Well, I caught some people doing double voting. A big guy, super huge guy, like probably double my size. And I caught him. I said, listen, you have this. I can see you voted already, so you go. And I denounced him, and he was arrested. This is all to say that there are ways to help, right? We can defend democracy by voting, by putting our vote and defending the elections, for example. And this was the only way that I saw that you could really make a difference, if you have no power, no financial power, no political power. Get involved and people to vote, to say something. That's why for me, coming to this country and to vote, the first time I was able to vote as an American was so special for me. Because to have the right to vote, to have the right to say what you believe and who you're going to support, it really makes a difference who you put in charge. Not just the president, the local officials, your mayor, your senators. Those local representatives are the ones that are going to protect you directly. So participate in voting. Don't be in the sidelines. Just go into protest and don't vote. Like, defend democracy by voting, casting your real vote as much as you can. There is corruption everywhere in the world. It's not about America. It's about every single country. You have no idea like how many times my Venezuelan country has voted, but the votes have gone to the water because there's corruption. There's nobody defending it. You know how many stories I hear from my family saying, we're seeing a bus full of Chinese people voting because they just gave them full passport and citizenship in exchange from China to live in Venezuela and for them to vote. The line is full of Chinese people. They are voting. They were voting. And then they vote for whoever gives them the opportunity to have a better situation than China. I'm sure that Venezuela compared to China is better. Back then, I don't know now. But it's what I'm saying is vote. Go out there and express your opinion in the legal way where you can make a difference. If you go out and protest and nothing happens, then you can't, do something that really makes a difference, that really intellectually and in an educated way, you can make a change. I know I've gone a little bit longer. So that is one of the two things I wanted to say. One, to tell you the story about this tear gas experience that I have. Number two, tell you how I am proud to be an American and to motivate you to defend democracy in whatever way you can, that it's legal, that it's effective, and get educated. And number three is to know that right now there is inequality here, racial inequality, social inequality, financial inequality. But know that these things are happening also all around the world. It's not just the United States. The United States, they cannot, oh my God, this is unheard of. How come? We're such a power, financial power. How come there's inequality in all these aspects? It's not fair, right? It's not just, it's not fair, it's not possible. So I just want to tell you that this is happening even worse for years in other countries. The same situation for racial inequality, social inequality, financial inequality, even gender inequality. I remember my dad telling me so many times, I'm not going to the United States. I offered him to come here so many times. And so many times he would say, no, I'm not going to be considered a second-class citizen. I'm never going to be considered like that. Here, I'm a first-class citizen. Over there, I'm going to consider a second-class citizen. I am old. Nobody's going to hire me because I'm old. All these fears of my family cost them now a life of even more difficulty. Even if they were here considered as a second-class citizen, even if they were here being discriminated for age, they are now suffering a different kind of reality and a different kind of limitation, with no electricity, no internet, sometimes, many times, no water, no salary, a pension that barely allows them to eat something. When I heard that my family was suffering last year from so many days, 14 days, 15 days without electricity, no refrigerator, no internet, no nothing, right? It means nothing for 14, 15 days. That put me really, really, really down. I'm telling you this so that you can see, like, you know, there's levels and levels of comparison on suffering all over the world, right? That right now we are in touch with what's going on here, but there's lots of history and lots of stuff going on all around the world that we don't know about. The media doesn't show it, and we can't even make a difference or help or do anything about it. One way you can help is by sponsoring, by buying a painting from my friend that lives there, my painter friend, for example, that was a full-time painter and now is just living off his savings because he can't really sell that much. I can share some of his paintings here so you can see. You can send him an Instagram message to order one of his paintings. Mario Arte y Vida is his Instagram name, for example. That's how you can collaborate, you know, to buy a painting from them, to buy a product or service from one of my friends in Venezuela and support him, for example. I did for so many years. Every time I went there to visit my parents, I would buy a painting and bring it back. I would bring some of his paintings and sell them to people here. I would not take any commission, just to help him. So there are ways to help people over there. But like I said, when I was hearing all the different situations, when I heard about 15 days more, so many days without electricity, I became in a shock. And I thought to myself, you know, I need to live this experience to really understand the feeling and to prepare. So I did a bunch of things. And I told you I was going to share some of the things that you can do or you can have. And Mario actually asked me, can you please share some of the things that we can do, like quick things that we can learn to be prepared or survive these situations? So here is, for example, a solar charger. So I got a solar charger. This is for the cell phone and for anything. So it has 2 USBs and it also has a light. So you can actually have a light. So it's like a flashlight. At the same time, it has 2 USB and you can just put it during the day to charge. And it charges two devices. So I can put a tablet and a phone. So this is really cool. So you can get a solar charger instead of getting a plugged-in thing. I also have a rechargeable battery device where I can just, instead of buying batteries, and then I have a rechargeable battery device and then I can just recharge things. I also prepared because I didn't have any communication. So I said, you know what, I'm going to get some walkie-talkies. So I have several walkie-talkies that are good for 5-mile communication. So just in case I need it, I am prepared. And it does work with rechargeable batteries. But I am prepared to communicate with the world in case anything happens. Maybe the police, there's a riot, there's something, they cut off the internet, everybody, no more communication because people are sharing the things that are not right. I'm prepared. So these are the things that I do now. I try to be efficient. I have anything that I need to learn or read or use every day. I have it downloaded to my phone or to my tablet so that I can use for example, meditations. I have them all downloaded. I listen to them offline. If I need to listen something from my coach or something, if there is an MP3 or something, I download it and have it just in case anything happens. If the documentary, I need to learn something, I download it and then I can watch it offline. That actually saves internet, saves data, it saves a lot of things. So these are the little things that you can do. Do you think that when my family says, my mom told me this was last year, and right now I don't even want to ask. But last year when I asked her, like, how do you do with your budget and your food? And when she said, we have 6 chicken breasts for 6 people in the house for a week. And that's how we ration the protein and we spread it throughout the week. When you hear this kind of thing, and I'm living in Paris or living here and I'm traveling between Paris and Boston, my brain feels like, well, who am I to deserve to live in this abundance when my family is having this almost like famine, right? If you see a picture of them before, like 10 years, even 15 years before, just probably, like me, like a little bit full cheeks. Now they're like in the bones, like really skinny. And I can't do anything about it. I don't even have tears. I can't even cry. And it's very, very frustrating to not being able to help when I also want to do my own life. And I could send them anything that they need, but I don't have the access to send them. And I'm working on it to send them anything. My brother here is actually helping out. And my brother over there is also helping out with all the services that he provides. He's one of them. He's the graphic designer that I use for my clients for generating logos and banners and social media promotions, flyers, and everything. So I use my brother and I give them work from here in dollars so that he can actually also help himself and help my family. That's the way I can help. My parents are very proud. My dad is very proud. He is a doctor. He is a gastroenterologist that is still working in a private clinic. He's doing just telehealth right now for free because of coronavirus. But he is treating all his patients for free on the phone and on email. Just giving them advice on what how they can be better and treat them, whatever condition they have. But he cannot do any study, any endoscopy, any colonoscopy. They're not allowed to do that. And he follows all the guidelines. Not the International Gastroenterological Association says do not recommend it, so I'm not doing it. He's a good doctor. But it's not fair that after working for 80 years, that his pension is not enough to feed his family. Thank God he owns his own property. He doesn't have to pay a mortgage or anything like that. Thank God that, right? Thank God he owns his car. He doesn't have any loans. But is it fair that a citizen of a country, after serving as a doctor to the community for 80 years, well, let's say he started working as a doctor in his 20s. So that means 60 years of medical service. Plus all the years that he was working as a tutor during his high school time. So he's been serving that country for a long time. But is it fair that he doesn't have the means and that he's not provided electricity and water and anything, not even a landline? There are no landlines. It doesn't work. That's not fair, right? It's a lot of injustice. And I can't do anything about it. I can't change the government. I can't change anything. So are we going to let this country get into that state? I don't think so. I moved here knowing that this country is not going to let these things happen. That people are strong here. People are workers. People are really devoted to this country and they want they want justice. And sure, there's always corruption everywhere, but something is going to change with these protests, with these things. Yes, there's looting, and there's every single time there's protests in Venezuela, there's also looting. There's also, because there's so much inequality, people are starving. People are starving, and they're envious, they're confused, they're not educated, and they do the wrong thing. But are we going to judge them for that? How can we forgive them for that? Because of the whole injustice. Who knows how many years they've been bottling up a lot of anger, a lot of frustration. We can't judge anybody for that, but we can do what's right. We can, in an educated way, in a diplomatic way, do changes without violence, without anything that can harm our neighbor or ourselves. So that is today's. I know it was heavy, and it's a little longer than what I wanted to share, but I think it's needed. So if you want to support Mario over there in Venezuela with his art, you can take orders via his Instagram DM. Just DM him with an order, and he will show you some of the art that is available. It's abstract art, and he's been working on some new figurative ones with faces, with masks and stuff. And I am sure that you will be able to know what's right and what's wrong, and do what feels good for you, whether it's stay at home and pray and do some inner work like I asked you yesterday, to have awareness, to do critical thinking, and to go inside of you to see what do you need to do, and just go and be in touch with your own self-love, with the eternal wisdom that is inside all of us. If you want to know more about me, you can go to automateyoursuccesscoaching.com. If you want to follow me on social media, you can go at Neni Chacin in all of them: Instagram, Periscope, YouTube, Facebook. You can find me over there. If you want to get a free discovery consultation, you can have that with me. I can help you get your business online, get some sales going in online, teach you all the things, all the tools, the automated tools and automatic processes that you can put in place for scheduling your services, for automating your website, your Instagram, knowing how to monetize your Instagram and everything. I'll be having a special training actually on July 21st about how to monetize Instagram. Stay tuned for that event in collaboration with the media queen from Australia. And I hope that this was helpful, that you can prepare, that you can know what to do. You can stay strong. Know that there's injustice all over. There are ways to get out of this, and that we will get out of this. That we can help repair our society together. That we can all put all our efforts together to help our world be a better place, and that starts with us. To how can you become a better person? How can you become the best that you can be? And if you want that, then call me, and maybe we can have something. I can give you some strategies for life. In any case, thank you so much. Tomorrow we'll tune in again. I'll give you some more tools, more strategies, more stories, and more conversation. So until the next time, let me see. Until the next time, if you want some resources, go to chacin.com, www.chacin.com/COVID-19. I have some free resources for you. If you want to support me with buying books online on Amazon or my music online on Spotify, just find me as Neni Carolina Chacin, and you will, let me see here, yeah, just type my name and you'll find me everywhere, and you can get some of my products and services and links for many resources. And I'll see you tomorrow next time. Okay.